Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Excuse me. Today I want to do something different that I normally do. However, to some extent I used to do it a while ago when I was living in the United States and going through the speeches of President Trump. I no longer call him Mr. T, it's time to call him President Trump. So what I would like to do, as many of you know, yesterday, the Polish president, Andrzej Duda, was addressing Ukraine's parliament. Since I am Polish and I completely understand the language, and I also understand the body language, and I also have more understanding of what's taking place, not shown on media, but in reality, to some extent, of course, I want to go through the speech of Polish president and through the quotes and sentences that I highlighted that I found very important to pay attention to, especially after the conversations that I had in the last few weeks with my previous guests. Because many of you who have been following me will connect the dots and will see where this is heading, in my opinion. And then we will go through some data and some numbers in Poland, how the situation looks like with refugees and that kind of information. I hope you will enjoy this video and I hope you will find some value in this, because I am here on the ground in this country and I think we are watching the beginning of something that might not actually turn out well for Poland overall, in my opinion. So let's go through the speech. Well, first impression of mine watching the speech, again, it wasn't easy for me to watch, as it is with Biden and others of that type of energy. I wanted to watch it and pick up important quotes and pick up important words and messages that were delivered there, because this is like a signal to the world and this is making a statement, right? But before we get there, I want to mention something quite important that many of people have forgotten already. I don't know if you remember, and in the time I was in the United States, in June 2020, it was Polish president, the same president, Duda, who visited the White House. Who was in the White House then? President Trump. He was the first one who actually, Duda, Polish president, was the first one who made the visit to United States during the scary flu, let's call it this way. So why was that? Well, I'm sure there are many reasons, but if you look at what was taking place in July 2020, that was a Polish presidential election. And who won this election? Duda. So the country was divided when they voted for him. I found different numbers shown. One report said 51.03% voted for him. Another said 53, 54. Nevertheless, what it shows the country is divided, right? It's not like everyone loves this president. So he visited Trump and was bending and praising and all the shenanigan games they play. And now the same story was happening when Biden was in Poland. You remember this. So yesterday, I watched this morning actually, he visited Ukraine's parliament. And I was watching this, trying to be objective and trying not to feel too emotional about it, because those of us who know what atrocities have been taking place there from 2014, in Ukraine I'm talking, have a very different look at that visit. The hugs that were there, the very emotional, overly expressed speech, and the moments when he was touching his heart to show how sincere and genuine his statements are, often missing that heart. And I know to some people is maybe I'm too picky, but no, I do pay attention, because when you express yourself and you say thank you, you don't miss this heart if you really mean it. You don't touch yourself here. You find that spot. That's what I think, that's what I believe in. You don't touch yourself in different areas. But let's get to the facts. What words have been spoken? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to read those words in Polish first and then translate as much as I can into English. And it's not going to be perfect translation because my English is good, but it's not like absolutely excellent, and I know this. However, let's go through this, and I will paraphrase or try to make it as exact translation as I can. So I have many words written down, and I want to highlight those key messages. First, w chwili zagrożenia potwierdza się, że silne amerykańskie przywództwo jest nadal potrzebne światu. What it means? It means that in this moment of threat, we see again how needed, how necessary is the American leadership in the world. Continuing on that thought, potrzebujemy więcej Ameryki w Europie, zarówno w wymiarze wojskowym, jak i tym gospodarczym. We need more of America in Europe, as well as militarily and business-wise. Yeah, militarily for sure. Next. Po Buczy, Radiance, po Mariupolu nie może być powrotu do business as usual z Rosją. Uczciwy świat nie może tego zrobić. After Bucha, I'm not sure this city, so excuse me if I make mistake. After Bucha, Radianka, or Mariupol, there can't be return to, actually he said it in English, business as usual with Russia, because the honest world, like sincere, honest world, can do that. Jako Polska ostrzegaliśmy Europę przed uzależnieniem od rosyjskich źródeł energii, że to jest broń. Okay. As Poland, we were warning Europe about dependency on Russian sources of energy, because that is a weapon. Here we go. Next. Ja osobiście nie spocznę, dopóki Ukraina nie stanie się członkiem Unii Europejskiej w pełnym tego słowa znaczeniu. Me personally, I will not rest until Ukraine will not become the member of the European Union in full meaning of it. Granica polsko-ukraińska ma łączyć, a nie dzielić. The border between Poland and Ukraine must unite, not separate. You see, we will go through this later. The railway between Warsaw and Kiev will be first. I didn't say in Polish, okay. So, two more. Rebuilding of Ukraine. Very important quote. Polish first. Na ten cel trzeba przeznaczyć zamrożone dziś w bankach rosyjskie, na ten cel trzeba przeznaczyć zamrożone dziś w zachodnich bankach rosyjskie zasoby walutowe, a one są ogromne, ogromne. Okay, I made a mistake here, but what he said pretty much is this. For the reconstruction, rebuilding of Ukraine, we have to use those Russian assets that have been frozen in foreign banks, that $300 billion that we were talking with Alice Christoforou in my last conversation, and quoting, and they are huge, huge. That was the moment when he actually said that. To Rosja zrujnowała Ukrainę, to Rosja musi zapłacić. It was Russia who destroyed Ukraine, and it has to be Russia who must pay for it. And the last quote is, Ukraina wygra wojnę. Ukraine will win the war. You know, if I will listen to the Polish president, as many people do, not just in Poland, but all around the world, with this way of emotional speaking, trying to connect on the heart level, or rather manipulating, okay? But let me be trying to be objective, because it's hard for me to be at this point. Watching that could be very believable, very realistic, very trustworthy, if you don't know the facts. If you have Polish president still claiming that Ukrainian forces are winning in Mariupol, or what really took place in Bucha, that apparently, I don't know exactly who reported on it in England, actually. Some quite mainstream information was given there, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who. Where I'm going with this, guys, here we have it. It's $300 billion that he wants, Polish president stated, he wants that money to be used to rebuild Ukraine. He wants Ukraine to be part of European Union, and he will not rest until this will happen. There is no going back to collaborating with Russia, in his opinion, to business as usual. It just can't be. And in this moment of uncertainty and threat, again, the most important thing is American military and strengthening that relationship. So what I see is going on under the illusion of friendship. They are going to take more and more advantage of that country. And they are going to do things which I cannot predict what they are going to do. I'm not a military person. I'm not in the governments, thank God. But those are the leaders who are deciding for lives of millions and millions of people. And you have to see that when someone is talking about heroism of Ukrainian soldiers who apparently in Azov style were, you know, I know there are soldiers who are asking Zelensky to, I don't know what's the word for this, but they are asking him to retract, that's the word, to retract, and he refuses to do so. If there is around 500 men, Ukrainian soldiers dying daily, or whatever is the number changes, even if it's 10, 5, whatever. And they are talking about the heroism. I have no words for this. This is the message to the world. This is what he did yesterday, is the message to the world. He said so much in this speech about what they want to do with this money, with the Ukraine, building the railway station between Warsaw and Kiev. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just saying this is just a cover up for literally peacekeeping there, going there and doing things that will have really very bad repercussions on Poland, really bad, on Polish citizens. Now let's talk about numbers, because, well, they say numbers don't lie, although the inflation numbers definitely lie because they massage it. So how this looks in Poland? He mentioned during his speech that we have over 2 million refugees in Poland, maybe more, who knows, some of them probably left already. But what has been reported is this. Every Ukrainian refugee, or as Polish president calls them now, guest, which is a nice form of making them feel welcome. However, those guests who registered, they receive something that is called in Poland 500 plus. What it is 500 zloty that each individual is given from Polish government. The exchange rate, and I just want you to remember, Poland is not USA or Switzerland or any of it, okay? So the exchange rate is around $120 because dollar fluctuates lately too. So we have $120 given to, at this point, approximately 700,000 guests has registered to receive that payment, that 500 zloty plus, which makes it to around $1 billion per year. Just in that, $1 billion for guests who receive 500 zloty plus. Very important point in this is that no one is checking if those guests are actually still living in Poland. Maybe they are on vacation somewhere in Italy or somewhere else. No one is checking that. No one is checking if they are at the address they provided, or maybe they are just, receiving this money, some of them. I'm not saying all of them, by all means. There are people who are really, really honest. But there are people who are taking advantage of this. So we have that. On the top of it, I want to mention something to give you a point of reference and show you the scale of how cruel it is to the older population of Poland who doesn't work anymore, those who are on the retirement. So many hundreds and thousands and millions of those people who retired already receive monthly, are you ready? 1,100, 1,200 zloty, which is $285 per month. After spending, what's the number? 40 years working, 50 years working, more than that. They are barely surviving. So you are giving $120, this 500 plus, to the guests who might not even any longer be in Poland, many of them. Or even if they are, you are giving them $120, but you are not helping the retirees. They receive $285. So explain this to me. At this point, looking at this shit show, I just wonder when people will realize what really is taking place. I don't know. I just wanted to bring to your attention what he said and how I understood that after getting more information about Ukraine, and I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm going to continue to research. And I think maybe now what I will be doing, I will be reporting from Poland. I will be reporting from Poland as addition to my interviews. Why? Because I am here, I understand Polish, I speak Polish, and I can also look at this, like I said yesterday, in my life from the spiritual perspective and see, we know when someone is lying or someone is manipulating, you can see it now. I mean, you could always see it, but now more than ever, you can really see how faked it is, how not genuine it is. It's in the eyes. Look at the eyes. You know, they might master or play those tricks with the body. You know, sometimes they miss the hard spot, right? But eyes will not lie. The same with Zelensky. Look at his eyes. If he's not smoking something, right? Or even if he's smoking, regardless. Look at the eyes of Polish president giving the speech. There are moments when he really believes in what he's saying. But there are moments when he comes out of that state and you can see like he's regrouping himself. Because you have to stay within the act in order to be believed. I think they are trying exactly what Alex from the Duran said, to get a hold of this $300 billion, right? $300 billion that they froze in foreign banks after paying Russia for the services or goods that they have delivered. And we see how this unfolds. I really don't watch newses daily. Well, lately I kind of do, but selective newses. But somehow I feel this is important for me, since I'm in Poland, to go through this now and to watch what shenanigans are they're trying to pull off next, and tell you about it, how I see it, and listen to their words in Polish and translate it into English with my form of explanation. You don't have to believe in anything I'm saying, but at least I will bring you some perspective, right? And some highlights. And yeah, let's continue on this journey. I hope this video was helpful for you. And if it was, if you like me to do more of videos like this, and follow through this situation with Poland, because I believe this is barely the beginning of something, let me know in the comments. And if you want to support me, all the links are down below. Have a great week. And I'm not sure who is my next guest at this point yet. I might bring someone who I had before, because I'm taking the trip soon, so that's why. But we see. Stay tuned, lots of love. God wins, remember that.